Welcome back, Redeemers. Thank you for joining us again. My name is Curtis.
I'm Nick.
I'm Zach.
I'm Pete.
I'm Julio.
And today we got a special song from Stray Kids, Maze of Memories, lyric version. Without further ado, let's see what we got.
Let's get it. This is his first Stray Kids, maybe both of them.
Yeah,
So.
introducing y'all to Stray Kids.
Is this a new song or is this a new song?
Older song.
Let me make sure the volume up too. Stray Kids.
Captions off.
I'm gonna get real flippy, real movie, a lot of energy. That's what I'm predicting.
Yep.
Some real acrobatic-y type of bam, bam, bam. Let's see.
That's what it looks like.
Like some feral cats is what I'm expecting.
Beats like this don't really turn into rap shit, but like,
just
I was
a
on the
song?
block just about to drop something.
시간은 달려가 마치 내 꿈처럼 베얀 나이트 잠시 내 목마를 태운 나이 추억들을 밖으로 던진다 이건 마치 각본 없는 드라마 생각 못한 결만 나와 예전의 맘속 덮었던 먼지가 이제는 내 꿈을 짓눌러놔요 저 벨감은 밤들을 집어삼키기 이제는 내가 가져가는 태양의 풍덩빛 그 다음에는 차가운 새벽에 외로웠던 답음을 저구를 뒤덮어 신청은 색칠하지
All the energy built up.
가득해져 무릎 펴가 나를 탓탓 이제는 보지 않은 답은 위안을 나를 running on my mind 하지만 그건 넌 남라 이없는 내일을 위한 격투지 없는 상태만 지켜지게 미래를 보여주지 미소를 씻는 내게 뿅뿅 걸음이 한숨을 피 지금 내 하늘에 나는 날 보는 것처럼 가까이 보여가 위 걸음걸이가 느려질수록 날 부추기는 바람 Hey, turn up with this power now 잠시 동안 내게 잠든 시간을 줘내 삶이 더해 오답 같은 정답을 내게 show What? 내가 보이는 건 거짓말이 알고 돌아도 같은 시간 속에 몰려 있어 시퍼런 날 아래부가 차는 노래부가 차는 노래 앞으로 많은 멋진 모래바람 타고 날아오는 몸에 사냥하는 노래
snapping.
줄 수는 없어 나는 원래 그래 여기저기 돌들이 다 날아오면 칼로 칭칭
They definitely got the cadence. They got the syllables in between.
Syllables.
I just wish I knew. I just realized that.
Production is ridiculous.
It's funny, it was an ambulance first, then the cop.
That's that dude.
His voice not look like his voice would be to his face.
Never think he would sound like that.
His voice is deep as shit.
So should I give up? But really, can I give up? We live in a time and space so full of blanks. It makes me wanna give up. But then no, I shouldn't give up. Feeling inside, don't wanna give up. We live in a time and space so full of blanks. No, I've had enough.
Oh, he cheated, dog. He American, ain't he? He cheated. He American.
Nah.
He killed that.
Empire, campfire, unpile, old fire.
Sing Min.
Rise high, go wild, chase my dream. That's why I never give up. Never give up. Never again, I'm not down, never give up. Never give up. Never give up. 내일을 보고 조금 더 달려, never give up.
Well, thank you. I miss the Spanish music that normally come on at the end.
You're welcome.
Like, the joint that normally come on at the end. Nah, Kurt, that was fire, man. I really enjoyed the production that was going on with the track. You never really got bored. It never stayed anywhere for kind of too long.
Definitely switched up. Definitely was the changes. Never kept you still, like you said. And it actually went together. It wasn't just like all over the place.
Yeah,
Sure.
I was trying to fill out the song. I'm not gonna front. Like when it first came on, I think when Chang Ben had went, like that's kind of when it like picked up a little bit for me. Y'all was feeling Felix. The deep voice caught y'all off guard. Normally
really
does
what
that.
caught me.
You said, huh? Mm-hmm. That's my bias.
He was like, that's the one for me in this joint.
Yeah,
I think my bias would be Sing Min.
Hey,
He stuck more into what's understandable for me to like. All right, he stayed consistently English almost flow without changing it up.
he went on a low register too. I like that.
Yeah. I thought he
wrote.
wrote. Listen, I thought all of them wrote it. When it comes to a certain skill level of rap, speed. Usually, being able to rap in a faster cadence is equivalent to what having good skill is. So I would say all of them definitely hit that. I wish I realized they were doing it in English all the way at the bottom. Like, what is that? I didn't realize because I wasn't seeing the lyrics. Like, I wish I was seeing the lyrics the whole entire time.
I should inform them of what a color code was.
It was actually my fault because I wasn't paying attention, and I'm like, oh my god, there goes the lyrics.
Same here.
So maybe the reason why I'm picking Sun Yung is because that's probably when I realized I was actually able to read it. Run it back. No. They did a great job. They wrote the beat. They did hip hop justice.
They did justice for sure.
Now the English definitely was fire when like he jumped in and stuff. Even the that course that came on with like Wu Jin and Ian at the end and stuff like that. I thought it was cool, and it ended the song like very well. Yeah, like it fit. This definitely felt like something they should have MV'd, and I know it might be hard with the plethora of like Stray Kids tracks that we've done, just because they do a fairly nice amount of comebacks per year, and at this point you'd almost be asking for every song to have an MV to it, and that's not how life works. But with that being said, is like this definitely would have been like a good joint to like visually been able to see.
I would have felt it more.
That's what I thought.
Even just like being filmmakers and
more.
everything, just to visually like kind of try to put storytelling like in kind of a music video type form to like all the stuff that they're talking about in here. I mean that would be like almost like a gold mine, at least for me, like artistically. But.
He said, "Rise higher, go higher, and chase my dreams."
For real, I thought this was straight hip hop. They straight. I wouldn't even see there was like no pop to me in this. It was other, hip hop.
They like that, man.
They definitely, I like that.
Sure.
A little softer verses and everything.
Yeah,
I definitely could appreciate it. Yeah,
no, they like that. And Kurta attests to it. Like Stray Kids is one of them groups where when we first heard majority of the title tracks, we had, like thought they were kind of more obscure and just kind of like more high end, high octane type of music. But once we started getting more into their discography, you just kind of really see like their rappers don't fuck around when they write, and their vocalists don't play around when it's time to get into ballads and R&B and everything. Really a group that can do everything. So is
just to briefly quote too, they're also one of the self-sustaining groups in the sense that they write, they do their own beats, and they do their own choreo, everything like that. So they all rounders. They definitely, like, you could feel this sense of pure artistry. It doesn't feel manufactured in any way. It's it's something that's a real testament to them for sure.
Yeah, and y'all will see, because I'm trying my best, especially with new people, to not say or do anything that might influence y'all to either like groups that we like.
That way, anyway.
Yeah, like I just kind of want y'all to fall into whatever like y'all fall into. But we really stand a lot of groups that are very much self-sustaining groups, where they don't need too much of anything. And that's not a knock against other groups, because really, especially when somebody is a singer, I don't really care if you write, honestly. It's more so if you're a rapper and you consider yourself an MC, then I'll probably be like, all right, well, you probably should be writing like your own raps and everything. And choreo is hard sometimes, so I'll give people a pass on that. But the groups that can do everything themselves get a little bit more of a pass and shit, and we kind of stand them a little more.
Say less.
But yeah, any other things y'all want to? Because I know Kurt gonna jump in here, and he gonna ask some shit.
No, Kurt, anchor it, take it away.
Anchor
it, baby.
Zach, you good? All right. Basically, a lot of things I love in this that kind of serve, like in the concept of the album is like there's like so much that deals with like identity and everything like that, and there's a lot kind of more vocal heavy tracks in this, but this is kind of one of those like when you get into kind of unpacking a lot of stuff that they would be going through or that they're talking about or anything like that. So when it gets to this track, it is very heavy and kind of rap centric, and I know if like you kind of are either more used to hearing like more of the vocal runs or kind of like a more because the structure of the song is very like downhill rap style kind of the whole time, and I love that their vocalists like also get in the mix. Even right in the beginning, Wu Jin is the the lead vocalist, at least at this time, and everything like that, when they made the song. And then Ian is the youngest in the group, but he's also on the vocal team and everything too. So whenever they kind of give verse structures, it's really different as well. So I really like how they kind of started off and everything, and I think their flow and cadence and everything had a great intensity and kind of presence to it as well. And I just think that's really hard in general. But when you're in a group that kind of is surrounded by like really incredible rappers and everything too, like I do think that that's like something that can really help. But all that to say, I really did like the vocalist contributions to some of the rap stuff. But I like the beat and the production and everything that Chen, one of the ones with the Australian accent. Not Felix. He's the other one. They got two Aussies in the group. But anyway, so all that to say, but his I like that they kind of use, because it's a lot of the concept is kind of going through a maze and kind of trying to discover yourself and everything. Like we talked about like Chronosaurus and things. I know like we were here for that. But basically, there's a lot of that stuff of kind of sifting through everything. So going through like the whole proverbial, maze and everything. Each kind of production change is motivated within like a different kind of depth or layer within that. So I just think that was like really great in how they did that. But technically, especially like guys like Han and everything in particular, just to say when you're kind of having a 16 in one beat and then they switch the beat and you got to jump into another flow and cadence and everything like that, that's really tough to do for sure. And I think that was like really incredible. And him kind of being the one who has to kind of set that off, like artistically at least, to get everyone kind of up to speed with everything. And then Hyun Jin jumping in right after that and everything too. Like I like that they all attacked it in kind of different ways. And it felt really unique. And I can understand if that's something that might be a little bit jarring to people, especially if like you're not as used to kind of their music or anything like that. But it's something that like, shows off a lot of artistry for sure. When we get into, Sung Min's part and Felix's part towards the end, some of the English kind of parts and everything, Chan as well. But I like, just to briefly touch on Felix's part is like, kind of basically getting drowned in that wave and trying to like erase everything, like kind of almost like that cleansing water, because it kind of is like a good full circle moment from Woo Jin's part, I think it's Ian's part, I believe, in the very beginning when he says like this old dust is kind of weighing down my current mind, like basically these old ways of thinking and everything is just
I wish I'd seen that.
something I need to like shed. So it's like this thing I need to shed. So basically when kind of Felix comes in and talks about like, like those parts and everything, I just think that was something that was really served well within here. And then Chang Bin, like he personally had one of my favorite verses in it. I really love the lyricism between, honestly, all the rappers that really had it in here as well. But Chang Bin really talks about a lot of deep shit in here, like where he's kind of like, this fuel, this anger becoming like this tea kettle, and how it's like it spews like this fire, like this rage within you or whatever. And then how basically he said he wanted it to be like almost like a water that kind of is like watering like a garden or something like that. Like I want it to be something that's constructive and breeds more kind of life seemingly, as opposed to something that's just toxic and it kind of erases everything around it. But it's interesting kind of going through that artistically, especially with rappers. They talk about like inner fire a lot and stuff like that. But there's just like a lot of deep stuff like that. And then Hyun Jin basically saying if there's a mountain in front of me, like I'm going to basically slice it down, and using the onomatopoeia of like kind of the sword swipe sounds and everything within his cadence. And basically like I'm going to turn it into like pebbles in front of me and then basically kind of rebuild from there. Like basically just no matter what obstacles in my way, like I'm getting through it. And Lee No, and I believe, I don't know exactly like the proverb or anything he was saying, but it felt like one of those. But I really loved like his flow and cadence. We was talking about like that bird kind of swooping down and trying to take your mind or whatever. And then basically you're the one who ends up on that bird's kind of back, like flying away, as like a metaphor to say like, basically whatever's coming after me is going to be something I ultimately conquer and everything after that. And they all kind of had really unique like kind of poetry within that, as far as like how they were, artistically like conveying that meaning. And then Chan, when he's like Empire Campfire, and then he says unpile old files, and basically these old files within your mind, and then that's where he's saying like set fire to it and erase it, and then basically like trying to go after your dreams, but having to essentially erase kind of a piece of yourself. It's just really interesting, and there's a lot of depth within like kind of the lyrics that they have to go through as well. But I do also really like kind of the vocals at the end, from particularly Woo Jin, as far as I want to say him and I believe Sungmin, if I'm not mistaken, as far as the ending kind of vocals. But they all like really crushed this. But they also brought something really unique for each of like their pieces within this. And I just think that that's like really tough as well. And I know in K-pop, granted, I know like Pete and Julio are a little bit kind of more new to it and to Stray Kids in general. But also it's kind of hard for rappers to get all full 16s within songs.
Of course,
a lot of times. It'll usually be like 4 to 6 lines, give or take, and then kind of switch off with someone. And that can, be really great as well, and I appreciate that. But it is interesting when you kind of get like the deeper, longer verses within K-pop. So it's a lot to balance for sure. But all that to say, it's like, their rappers really come to play every single time. And their vocalists are incredible and equally versatile in their own regard as well. And it was interesting that Felix's voice and everything kind of got used too. because he has a really deep voice, and it's something that's really unique characteristically within the group. Even people who kind of don't know the group or anything, like it's a very identifiable factor, and it's something they certainly use to their advantage as well. So I know this is a B-side. Would have loved if there was like some kind of MV or something for it, but you know, I love this song.
Also want to add that, you know, in order for them to pull this off, a lot of thought had to be put into this, because in order to have 9 rappers work, like last time we actually heard that was Wu-Tang, and that's kind of like a huge bar to step. So with the level of the complexities of what their art, what they're actually expressing, to be able to put it in such a fast cadence is a difficult task to begin with. Anyone in hip hop will tell you, just to be able to put substance into syllables and trying to fit as many syllables within the beat, and that usually is what you know, is usually challenging. So for them to be able to do this and pull it off, I felt, you know, was well executed.
Yeah, man, y'all know how we feel about Stray Kids here. Jump in the comments, tell us how y'all felt about this. Let us know what other B-sides that y'all like, that y'all want us to get into. Other than that, we love you, Stays. We're going to holler at
Love
y'all.
y'all. Take care.
Peace.